What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Viall Files. I am your host, Nick, joined by Chrissy over in Montana. We have the social syndicate in the studio today, Amanda.
This group is getting big.
It's turning into, it's a team. It's a full team.
It's a team.
It's a full team. We have a wonderful Ask Nick episode for you, mostly because of our special Ask Nick guest, Esther Povitsky, who has been on the Viall Files before. And once in a while, we'll have a guest on that we will immediately think you would be great at giving relationship advice. And we've been talking about doing this for some time. And so here we are. Esther, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be back. Nick, I just feel like we have such good energy. We have good vibes between us. Like I woke up today, I'm like, I'm so happy to see Nick. Why? I don't know why. I'm so happy.
I agree. And we haven't talked about this before. I feel like it's because what I like about you is that you have a moderate to low energy, and I like that because I do too. And some people are uncomfortable around other people who are chill. You know what I'm saying? People are like, am I not making you feel super excited?
Right. Do you not like me?
Yeah. And I think we're both comfortable with that. And our energy levels are on the kind of the same.
That is so true. I would not have picked that up. But no, when I first started doing stand-up, people were like, oh, you're really dry. And I was like, really? What's dry? And then I was, I am dry. I didn't even notice. I had no idea. Yeah. How are you? What's going on?
I'm great. Not too much.
Not much going on.
Okay. I saw a paparazzi photo of you and was like, what's the deal? Do you have a girlfriend? Is this real? You're mad. He's mad at me. He's mad.
Don't be mad.
No, I'm not. I'm not mad at Esther. The good news is it's my show. I guess I could edit out if I No, I'll have to talk to her about. I was annoyed by that just because two things that annoyed me is that they were apparently the paparazzi waiting outside my house, which seems. But I think what annoyed me most is that every time you get shot by the paparazzi, there's always a few people who are always like, you staged that.
Oh, that sucks.
And I think to myself, at least give me the credit to know that I'm vain enough that if I were to stage a paparazzi shot, I would have looked more attractive in the photo,
so much better.
And I would have been smiling, and we would have been super affectionate. Why would I stage a photo and look like that?
I'm so jealous, though. I've come to the realization that I'm at a place in my career where the only way I'll ever get paparazzi to chase me is if something really bad happens to me. Like if I kill, I've
been with Nick on this journey before. There was a car that straight up pulled up in front of the restaurant we were walking out of, stopped, put the camera out the window, and just kept going. And I was like, "What goes on?
Poor
Who are
Nick.
you?"
I have my neighbors. We get paparazzi in our neighborhood, and I'm always so excited. I'm like, oh my God. Maybe they'll think I'm Harry Styles.
No, it's super annoying.
No, but yeah, what's going on? Is it secret or is it?
No, it's always, that's also another funny thing. People have suspected that I've been in a relationship. All my friends and families that I want to know, all know things, and people are just like, why aren't you telling us? And I'm like, who are you that I would...
I know.
I'm in a relationship. It's fun. It's great. I'm super happy.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Yay.
Do you feel is this a big deal for you?
What do you mean?
I don't know. Is your life different? Do you wake up and the clouds are all gone, or do you?
Burping.
Yeah. Or is it just I don't know?
In my own way,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yeah. Because
I'm a very low energy person. I have those moments of gratitude and thankfulness of being happy.
Yeah.
So there's those moments of you're really great.
Oh.
And I'm really happy. You're a part of my life kind of thoughts for sure.
That's cool. Are you guys ready for a double date? Can me and Dave come over?
Yeah, we'll do all the appropriate COVID.
Of course. Yeah. No. Dave...
She's been vaccinated. She's in healthcare. So.
Oh, that's so cool. Is that why you're dating her? Did you meet her on a vaccinated dating app?
No, I love that she is passionate about what she does.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
She's cool that way.
Can I know what she does?
She's a surgical tech.
Wow. That's hot.
Yeah. Do you think so?
Well, it's attractive, especially in Hollywood where we all live. It's always attractive when someone is passionate and cool and dedicated to what they do, and it's not just like a lifestyle that leads to posting selfies on Instagram.
I what I like about it is that I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Yes.
I can't speak to it. I can't even try to sound smart to it.
Right.
And that's really quite impressive. I also realize that between the two of us, I am easily the most dramatic. Like, I'm the drama queen.
Oh my God.
And that is the first time I've ever experienced that, and I think that's really great.
That is awesome.
Like, I wouldn't consider myself necessarily a drama queen, but I'm definitely between the two of us way more dramatic, and she is the voice of reason.
Well,
which is a breath of fresh air.
That's important because you and I are both performers. You know, you host this show, and like I do stand up and stuff, and it's good for us both to have a partner who is a little more grounded in reality and is not like the star. You know, you're not like you're not competing for the spotlight or whatever. Yeah,
no, she's great. She might have the highest amount of character I've had in anyone I've dated.
Really?
And I've had that's not a disrespect to anyone I've ever dated. She's, you know how they say like when no one's looking, kind of the sign of true character. She's always present with what's going on in the world, and like just let the girl like. Do you ever notice you're from Chicago or Illinois? Do you ever, when you move to LA, do you notice how like people don't put grocery carts back?
Yes.
And I'm like, I think I'm a good person, but I'm not so great, and my character's not so high that I just kind of conform to what people do in LA, and she doesn't. Like, she's always helping people out. She'll like stop and get cart. And then she's like taking 3 carts at a Whole Foods and like put them and it's just she's just so wonderful.
It's so hot. No, it's so attractive though.
I'm always like,
when someone's a good person, is such an attractive quality that like you kind of forget to look for.
No, because it sounds so cheesy when you're just like, you know, you make me. But she does make me want to be better. Because it's like you see this, like I should do that. Those are little things. Like, why don't I do stuff like that?
That's so cool. Where did she grow up?
Not in LA.
Yeah. That's the key.
There's some anonymity that.
Yeah.
Because like
fine.
she's not used, you know.
Yeah, she shouldn't be on. Yeah.
So, yeah, but also there was It's funny. One of our callers today, there was reminded me of, I guess because we hung out for a while,
mm-hmm.
and we weren't boyfriend or girlfriend. I think we both had a reluctance about whether we should date.
Oh wow, you both had it.
Yeah, I think I mean, well, that's what's weird. In a normal day, we were just like, I don't know. We met and then we had fun and
Can I ask how you met?
She slid into my DMs.
Oh.
It was very romantic. It's kind of the meet cute you want. And then I think we both were unsure based off of like where we were in each other's lives, and then we kind of kept hanging out, and then she finally got to a point where she's like, I want to date, and I was kind of like, I don't know.
Really?
Again, we're kind of like our caller. I don't think, like, I've always struggled with in my adult life of like, what's going to be the reason I should move forward. Like,
yeah.
And so she kind of took the advice I've said to a lot of people on this podcast, is she just was like, okay, this is what I want. It's fine. No big deal. But I'm going to go do my thing. And she did. And I was like, what? Very chill. She's very confident in the most chill way.
Was it like, let's be together or let's cut this off?
Well, I mean, we had hung out, like we hung out for a while, right?
Hung out is so like,
yeah, I don't know.
What does that mean?
Here's the thing. It started in the most, within the hanging out where we weren't dating, we were very open and honest. We had dated other people.
Wow.
We knew that. We told each other, and we were just like, it was just probably the most communicative relationship. Like that, it wasn't boyfriend and girlfriend, but we were just open.
Yeah.
And I think that established a lot of trust.
That's cool.
And then, it got to a point where she was like, this thing we're doing, well, fine. I've had my fun. I don't want to do it anymore. And I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if I can. And she was like, okay, no problem. And then she went and showed me exactly what I'd be missing. And then, there you go.
Wow.
But she didn't do it with words. We didn't didn't try to convince me, didn't try to change my mind. We didn't fight. She just said, cool.
I want to read whatever book she read, because that is amazing. That's so.
It was the most there was no convincing.
No sales pitch.
No
She's
pitch.
Just like, here's the deal, laying it out and walking away.
It's totally fine. I don't know if she's been listening. She doesn't listen to my bullshit on my podcast. How can you? Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So it's fun. She's rather great.
She's awesome.
Wow.
Also, like, everyone loves her.
Really?
Without question, everyone likes her more than me. All of my friends.
You sound like me. I swear we are so similar.
It's like, without question. And
without question.
It makes me a little insecure about myself, but
she makes you cooler, so it's okay.
Yeah. No, that's my fiance. Everyone likes him better. My parents, everyone is like, my parents think he's their son. Like, they wish that. And it's so fun to like bring someone to the fam and to the friends, like, and everyone loves them.
Yeah.
Like, you want to elevate your life.
The first time I met her, I was with friends in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very judgmental friends whose opinions I really care about.
Mm-hmm.
And she sold them. And so. Wow. But everyone loves her.
Wow.
And I'm just like, God, everyone loves her more than me. So it's fun.
If you guys break up, maybe she'll keep all your friends in the breakup.
She'll be missed, that's for sure. Like, the people who reluctantly choose me, mostly like people who are related to me or like lifelong friends, or because they have to work with me. But they'll be sad. I can promise you that much.
Yeah.
And then there'll be some anger and resentment towards me because it will clearly have been my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll avoid that for now, at least. That's exciting. Exciting life update.
It's fun.
Look at Esther with the exclusive. I love it.
Top-notch interviing skills.
I just want to know about my friend. I truly feel such a good connection with Nick. Like, I just think he's such a good, I don't know, you have good energy.
Thank you. Same. I mean,
we're besties.
You know what it is? It's because, we don't have what maybe our boyfriends and girlfriends have, and we see it. But deep down, we're pretty great too. We're just sometimes harder to be around.
But we know we kind of suck.
Yeah, it's we also understand why people sometimes, why we rub people the wrong way.
Mm-hmm. We're just that's fine. That's gonna happen.
Fine.
That's how we are. Well, we have some great callers today.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, you are as good as I thought you would be.
Thank you. We're a good team. I feel like we can really help the people out there. It's fun to talk to these women. There's a lot of interesting, smart women we talk to.
Yeah. Well, let's get to it.
Okay.
Question time with Nick. Let's ask Nick your sexy questions.
How's it going?
How's it going, Nick? I'm Jessica, and I'm in my 40s.
Hi, Jessica. How can we help?
I am in a mixed signal communication with a man that I've had an on-again, off-again romantic relationship with the last 4 years.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm spinning my wheels, and I never to get just the raw honesty that I need to just close that door, because this gentleman is so kind and so compassionate and treats me very well when but it seems to always just boil down to sex. And so it just, at the end of the day, I'm at a point in my life where I don't want to feel cheap, and I know that I deserve better, but why am I struggling with this so bad? When I mean, and then he'll send messages that say like he's never met anyone like me, there will never be someone like me in his life, and he doesn't want to hurt me. And I just feel it's his way of saying I'm just not that into you. And I feel like I'm the one needing like the slap in the face, like, yes, Jessica, he's just not that into you.
Well, I mean, we can help you with that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Few things in life are better than great skin, whether it's on our own faces or on our partner's skin. We really appreciate great skin, but sometimes it's also really hard to have, and we need the help of professionals like, say, doctors and dermatologists to help us get the skin that we want. And in a COVID world, we don't necessarily want to call in, make an appointment, wait 3 or 4 weeks, months to get an appointment, wait in line. That's why we have Apostrophe, prescription skincare company for people that are ready to take their acne seriously. Prescription acne treatment really works, but it's hard to get. Sometimes you have to take time off of work to get in with the doctor, wait in lines. Like we said, it's a real pain in the ass. Apostrophe treats acne, and they can also help you hit with your other skin care goals, like reducing redness, wrinkles, or even dark spots. They can even help with men who are struggling with some losing of the hair, which happens as we get older. And again, instead of going to a dermatologist, we have Apostrophe. It's so good that even a member of our social syndicate has her own promo code with Apostrophe, and she lost her mind when she found out they were sponsoring this episode. So
there you go.
There you go. Apostrophe makes it easy to see a board-certified dermatologist online, and you'll get treated immediately, and your medication are delivered right to your home. Simply fill out an online questionnaire about your skincare concerns and medical history, and then just a few snaps, selfies of yourself and your skin, send it to the doctor, get a consultation, and before you know it, your skin will start looking the way you want it. Get $15 off your first visit with a board-certified dermatologist at apostrophe.com/VIAL and use code VIAL. This code is only available to our listeners. Apostrophe.com/VIALL and use the code VIAL. I don't really like it when my doorbell rings. I'll be honest. Every time my doorbell rings, I'm like, who's knocking on my door that I have to say hi to? But the only exception to that rule is when I realize that Freshly is delivered right to my door, and I have a bunch of ready-to-go healthy meals that Freshly provides. I tell you what, it's truly the best part of my week. Freshly offers chef-made nutrition packs, delicious meals delivered fresh to your door, no cooking required. Grocery shopping, and cooking, what a pain. Especially right now, Freshly, you don't have to do any of that stuff. Your meals arrive cooked and fresh every week, so you can keep your fridge stocked and skip the trip to the store. They have amazing meals like
steak peppercorn, sausage baked penne, and their chicken pesto bowl.
All incredibly delicious. Right now, Freshly is offering our listeners $40 off your first 2 orders when you go to freshly.com/VIALL. To make eating better your New Year's resolution and get a special limited time offer, go to freshly.com/VIALL and get $40 off your first 2 orders. Try Freshly now, and for a limited time, get $40 off your first 2 orders. Go to freshly.com/VIALL. It's been on and off again. So I'm assuming you have tried to get him to commit. I mean, you, in a perfect world, or your perfect world, you would make him your boyfriend if you could. I mean, at least like in the past, that's what you hoped for. Yeah.
Correct. And I've tried to do what you say, a slow burn, and just let things unfold organically. And then I give it time and time. And then every time I try and just faintly bring up the conversation of like, where's it going? Are we seeing other people? It just runs away from the whole discussion, says just not ready for a relationship. And he's been divorced for a very long time, 7+ years. I don't believe that he's not ready. I think it's he's not ready for me, or doesn't want me. And then during lockdown, didn't want to see anyone really for a while. And I told him that we would catch up when things got a little bit normal. And so once that happened and we got together and finally connected and did our thing again, I noticed that physically, he had given me an STI, not an STD, but an STI. And the reason I know that what's the
difference
between an STI?
Okay, a disease is like incurable, like something you'll just have to treat and live with. But the STI is like an infection that you can treat with antibiotics and it will go away.
Okay.
Right.
So like chlamydia.
But that had never happened before, so I knew something had changed and something was different, because you know your body better than anyone. And so it took a couple times, and then I said, something's not right. And I went and saw my doctor, and she confirmed, oh, do you have a new sexual partner? Sometimes this happens when people have new sexual partners. And I said, well, not new to me, but perhaps
indirectly.
So, yeah. So I asked him about it, and he said, he was honest, so I'm grateful for that. And he said that during lockdown, he got rather lonely and connected with a girl for a one-night stand, and that must have been it. And that he would get treated, get tested, and he felt remorseful, but it was horrifying to find out that way, and to know that he was just like that. Like, I could have been weak and gotten on dating websites too, but I didn't. And I just feel like he owed me that disclosure.
Yeah.
At a minimum, when you're sleeping with someone, at a very minimum, I think you should know if they're also sleeping with someone else. I wasn't asking for a marriage contract or even a boyfriend title. Just tell me if you're sleeping with somebody else so I can make an informed decision whether I want to do this or not.
It almost sounds like this might just be a classic case of you maybe need to present an ultimatum and be like, look, but I don't even know if you want that. I don't even know if that's what you want.
I don't know that I'd want it either, but I'd want to feel that what I'm doing is more symbolic, is deeper than just this like cheap stuff
hookup
that I remember doing like in my college days. Like, in my 40s, I don't want to feel that way.
No,
it doesn't feel right.
The good news is that you can control that, right? I mean, you're human, I don't know for you say in your 40s, maybe for, like as we get older, we can feel insecure about, do we still got it, so to speak, right? And then if we're, we can get insecure about that, but you're so close, right? You've even mentioned like you have this self-awareness of like, I don't know, maybe you're just not that into me. It's hard for anyone to say that out loud and kind of face that to their ego, and you're capable of doing that.
Yeah.
So you're really close to that, but you're just a little too afraid to let go, and you're too afraid to show him that you know your own self-worth, because like you can say it. It's one thing, and we do that a lot in relationships. Like, I know that I'm worth more. And so you're in this kind of like dating situation, and maybe, you two respect each other, but like maybe it's both of you. Maybe it's one of you like not ready to commit, and the other person's like, well, I deserve someone who's ready to commit to me. And the other person's like, of course you are, because you're amazing, and I've never met someone like you. But you're still not willing to show them, because you still like, you try to convince them, and then they don't give you the answer you want. And instead of like being like, okay, well, no problem, just going to go find it somewhere else, and then you're trying to convince him with your words and trying to show him with your actions. It's hard to do, right? Because you have to actually let go. Information is the key to living smarter, healthier lives, and FitTrack is helping us do that. We have our scales, and sometimes obviously we know, or not all the time, but we know that scales can weigh us, right? But there's a lot more information that you could gain from stepping onto a scale, like your body mass index, how much water you're consuming, your bone density, things like that, your muscle mass. That information lets you know the things you could be doing to get in better shape. FitTrack is a scale I've been using. I quite love it. It's very easy to use. I step on the scale, I open up my app. It gives me a bunch of information I didn't even know I needed. It analyzes 17 different health measurements, including your body fat percentage, muscle mass, hydration levels, bone density, and more. The best part about FitTrack is that you can easily track and trend your health over time and see how your daily choices, ranging from exercise to diet, affect your health in the bigger picture. Wow. Amazing. It is a really great tool to keep me accountable. Well, we have mentioned so many times in this show that weight doesn't equal health. There's a lot of factors that go into your health, and FitTrack is providing the scale to get you the information you need to live healthier lives. Stop measuring weight and start measuring health with FitTrack. Go to fittrack.com/VIAL to take 50% off your order. 50, that's half off for those of you bad at math. Plus, for a limited time, you'll also save additional 30% with code BUILD30 at checkout. Wait, are you telling me you get another 30% off to 50% off? Is this thing free? Do they like give you money? That's amazing.
They give it to you.
Wow. Don't miss out on this amazing limited time offer. fittrack.com/VIALL with code BUILD30 at checkout. That's FITTRACK.com/VIAL to save 50% off plus an additional 30% off your order with code BUILD30 at checkout. When cooking feels like something you don't want to do, well, there is always the option to get wonderful local restaurants delivered right to your door with Caviar app. From pizza, sushi, dim sum, falafel, get whatever food you're in the mood for on the Caviar app with delivery from your favorite local restaurants. Caviar is the app that has the best local restaurants. Get them delivered right to your door. Caviar has all the great restaurants. That's why you'll find the best spots in your neighborhood right when you open the app. With collections like Mediterranean, vegan, vegetarian, and more, it's super easy to find great food. For our listeners and our listeners only, Caviar is giving you 20% off your first order. Just use the promo code VIALL at checkout. Remember, that's 20% off your first order with promo code VIALL. Download the Caviar app and use offer code VIALL for 20% off your first order. I know what I'm using tonight, and I'm gonna get dim sum with caviar. And I can't wait. Can taste it already.
Yeah, I've been in a situation like this where I was seeing a guy. I really liked him. He was so cute, and I felt like he liked me. But every time we hung out, it was like he came over after work and we had sex, and then that was it. But we were boyfriend and girlfriend, but it was like so obvious that it was like what you're saying. It's like you just feel kind of icky about it. And I like that you're intuitive and you feel it. And it was so hard for me to break up with people. Like I could never do it. And it wasn't until we had taken a little break and he had hooked up with someone else and my ego couldn't handle taking him back after that. But I'm just kind of all that to say, like, it's hard to break these things off, even if it does make you feel icky. I get that, like, there's something to it that's keeping you around, but it sounds like you don't even want the relationship with him anymore. But either way, it might be, if it were me, I'd probably be like, look, either we're boyfriend and girlfriend and you like me, or this is just a hookup. And if this is just a hookup, like, I think I'm going to walk away. And if you change your mind, let me know. But, like, you know, maybe something like that.
That's all great, except I would disagree with that last part. If you change your mind, let me know.
Yeah.
Because kind of makes him feel empowered. He's like, oh, great. Well, I'll when I start sampling everything else, I'll let you know if I got it right or not.
Good
but
point.
So I wouldn't say that. But you're just going to have to show him what he lost. The hard part breaking up is, like, in that moment, you want to be with the person, right? You don't want to move on, right? But the only way to get what you want is to do the very thing that you don't want, and that is to, like, let go and move on. So that's the fucked up part about breaking up, because you're trying to, like, what you want makes sense. I want someone who, I know my self-worth. I want someone who wants to choose me, respect me, and you're trying to convince them with your words and hope that you don't have to, like, leave and scare the shit out of them. But that's kind of where you're at. You're just going to have to, take that one final step of saying, you're a total babe. You're killing it. Like, you just have that little bit of confidence that I'm gonna let this go.
Yeah.
And might be single for a period of time, and there's gonna be someone else who's and you're gonna be a little lonely and sad in the process, and that's okay.
I believe that you will find someone where you spend time with them and you'll be like, oh, he really likes me. Like, he likes me. I can tell. Like, I know that that's gonna happen for you, and so it's like, why not go for that? And maybe you're gonna be lonely and it's gonna suck for a little bit, but you really are beautiful. And, like,
thank you.
No shade to anyone's age, but, like, I thought I'm 32. I thought you were my age for sure. Like, so, and it's amazing that you're in your 40s, but I did not think that. And I like that you really know. You're like, I don't like how I feel. I don't feel good. So I'm gonna that to me
Well,
tells
here's
it
the
all.
thing. The hard part about breaking up, you're going to feel lonely and sad.
Yeah.
But you have him in your life to a certain degree, and you feel lonely and sad now. So feel lonely and sad with having the option to find something better, as opposed to feeling lonely and sad being stuck in this kind of revolving circle that's not going anywhere.
Now, one question I have for you, Nick, in particular, is that, you know, a lot of times guys will say, hey, the best thing you can do is cut people like us off, like cut us off. So I did that. I cut him off. But the worst part is that he doesn't know I cut him off because he hasn't checked in, and it's been over a couple weeks, and I want to be able to
guys say that they don't mean that. Guys say that because they don't care what you're doing when you cut them off. You know what I'm saying? Because he still feels very confident that whenever he texts you on your birthday or whenever he gets bored, that you will eventually respond. So that's why he feels comfortable enough saying that. It's because he's not worried about losing anything. But the moment you don't respond, the moment you've moved on and you really don't give a shit and you're totally indifferent, he will freak out. Now that's not to,
It's just going to take a while.
Hopefully you won't give a shit then and take him back, because
one time I ran away from home and no one noticed, and that was hard. 5 hours later, I was 11, it was it's an age where they should have.
I did not get the reaction I expected.
Yeah, I've been there where you're guys. And it's it's the hard, cold truth. It's he doesn't care. He's just fine. You haven't responded. He clearly doesn't give a shit. And it's good for you to be strong and be all right, he doesn't care. Hopefully.
And like I said, you already know deep down that he doesn't like you the way you deserve to be liked. And I'm not saying this to give you hope, but the good news is he's in a point in his life that he may not know the difference. I've felt like that in my life. As I've gotten older, I've had these relationships in my life, and I've had relationship, and I've become almost kind of too self-aware of my own choice. It's just well, how do I know if I like someone if I'm not on TV? It's if I'm not in a pressure-cooked environment. I don't know. You seem nice. I don't know. He just might not know how to engage in a relationship and commit, but that's not your problem, right? You've made it your problem to a certain degree, and maybe someday he will change, but that won't be until he really believes that he's lost you, and you have yet to show him with your actions. And you never really left. He gave you permission to leave, so you kind of did, but you have to be no, it's cool, I'm good. Yeah, it's fine. I really don't care.
And he might never care, and that's okay. And it might sting, and it's fine. You'll survive it, and you'll be stronger for it. He might never be bothered. Also been there, and it's okay. You'll end up with the right person because of it.
Well, my only hope, I appreciate this advice so much, is that I'm given the opportunity someday. I mean, the guy is cut off. I'm not going to reply, but I just wish I had the opportunity to show him that. I wish he would have checked in.
Well, that's just your ego. It's just your ego.
I know that feeling so damn well. And the what's going to happen, I guarantee you, is by the time you get that feeling where he checks in and you're not there and he gets that wake up call, you're not going to care anymore. Yeah. You're going to be oh, I don't care. That's so what happens every time. It's so annoying.
And that's a hard part. Our ego wants everyone to love us, but you only need one person to love you. So just go find that person.
Well, I appreciate you both taking your time to listen to someone. The older problems don't change. They just
they don't. Listen, you're a total babe.
Yeah.
So go out and make some guy really happy.
Yeah, you're beautiful.
Thank you so much. That means the world to me. I appreciate your advice. I take it, just sponging it all in. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. How can we help?
So I actually just have a question about my current relationship. So my first relationship was 7 years long, on and off. How old are you? I'm 22.
Okay.
So it was all of high school, first 2 years of college, crazy. There was a ton of cheating. It was just, so it was that kind of relationship. So that's kind of the backstory. Now I'm in this new relationship. It's been 2 years.
Who was cheating? Everyone?
No, I was completely loyal, the whole time. It was him. Okay. So I finally left that relationship, was single for about 2 years, and now I'm in my second serious relationship. So I guess my issue is that he is still in contact with his ex. I am okay with that. And from the start, I was like, okay, I trust you. I wouldn't be dating you if I didn't trust you. I'm okay with the friendship. But it was his birthday about a week and a half ago. And he let me like kind of look when she wished him a happy birthday. And she still had like the nickname in his phone from when they were dating. And they broke up like a year ago. And she doesn't know about me and doesn't know that he has a girlfriend.
How do you know that?
Because he's told me. So
okay, well,
why?
Like,
why?
Was there a why to follow up?
Yeah. So I know it sounds like a little bit suspicious, but so his whole thing is that when they broke up a year ago, she was suspicious of some cheating, I guess. Like it kind of ended on good terms. There was no like reason for the breakup. So she assumed that it was because of cheating. And this was when me and my current boyfriend were friends. So she kind of linked it up as like I was that girl, I guess. It's kind of confusing for me, but he says that he just doesn't want to offend her or have her think that he was cheating with me.
How long did they date for, first of all?
Like 3 or 4 years.
Okay, so all right.
So he says they're still friends because there's absolutely no feelings there anymore, like on his end. He wants to see like where her life goes because he invested so much time into this relationship. And he says that I should just like...
I mean, she's not a real estate property. Like, I don't...
Right.
I know.
She's not like Amazon stock.
He's not accumulating assets. I'm just going to buy it and I'm going to forget about it, see if it grows. I don't know.
Did he like spend money on her? Like that's, sorry.
It is definitely weird. And like, that's just kind of what threw me off because like with my past, I'm like, okay, I'm trying really hard to trust you. But the part that really triggered me was that we've had a few fights since then about this. And I've said, like, I'm totally okay with this situation. Like, I just want her to know about me. Like, can you just slide in a message like, hey, I have a girlfriend, like, out of respect. I just want you to know this. But his rebuttal to that is that I should just trust him. He will tell her when, like, the time is right. Like, he doesn't want to throw it in her face. And I don't know. That just kind of, like, says red flag to me. I don't know.
How old is he?
He's 24.
Okay.
Do you believe that he doesn't have feelings for her? What do you think? What do you really think?
Totally trust that he doesn't have feelings for her anymore.
Okay.
The part that just bugs me is that, so there's a little bit more to it. Like, it was his birthday, and then 4 days later, it was her birthday. So he openly was like, I'm going to wish her a happy birthday. So I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. And then later in the night, I was like, oh, like, did you guys have a conversation today? And he was like, yeah, like she kind of brought up something about like the lasagna her mom used to make like when they were dating because he like liked it so much. And she's like trying to bring up like nostalgia and stuff. And to me, that's just like, okay, like I kind of feel like she still has feelings.
Yeah.
But I don't blame her because she doesn't know about me.
Totally. Like you sound very like level-headed and like fair and not unhealthy. It sounds to me, I actually believe he probably is not interested in her, but he's getting off on the attention that she's giving him, and he likes knowing that she still likes him, and that's probably why he doesn't want to tell her about you, because then he knows that she won't be able to handle it. Yeah. So it's
exactly.
Yeah. So it's like shady, but it's not like worst case scenario shady. Like I believe he doesn't like her, but he's just likes the attention.
And yeah, so I guess like my question is like, how do I go about this now? Like, should I just stop like bringing this up? Like every time we bring it up, it's like a 2-hour conversation, like sometimes argument. And I'm just like, okay, so am I now just okay with him like telling her on his own terms? Like,
I mean, I don't feel like you are. So here's what but here's what's going on for you. I want to give you a lot of credit first because you were in a relationship where you were cheated on, and obviously that sucks. And no matter who you are, there's some baggage that happens there, and you go into your next relationship and you have to choose to trust. I've said this a lot, and that's what you're choosing to do. Easier said than done sometimes. It's even harder when you end up in another relationship where there's these like red flags, as you say, that makes you question your own sanity, and yet you're trying really hard to be like, no, I'm going to be a trusting person.
Exactly.
So great
Like,
job. The only bad part about that is sometimes we have a habit of then kind of compromising our gut and the things that we know, like our own sanity, right? In the sense that like you don't have to be okay with things that you're not okay with, or the things that you know deep down are wrong, just because you want to be a trusting person. If something seems fucked up to you, you have a right to say, trust or not trust, that seems fucked up to me. You know, like, why doesn't she know about me? Doesn't matter what his reason is. As his girlfriend, if you're going to continue to have a relationship with someone that you didn't just like have sex and become friends with, he dated for 3 or 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not like, I don't know, we got drunk one night, we had sex, realized there was no attraction the next day, and turned out we were friends. You know, that's not what's happening. Like, this is there's this whole nother backstory, and he's still considering her feelings. That's another problem, is like right now, he's managing your feelings, he's managing her feelings. Well, that's fucked up. That's not, you know, he might not be a committed relationship with her, but he's in a relationship with her. And that's, you know, seems more than a friendship, because if it's just a platonic friendship, I want all my friends to know about my relationships. I don't worry about how they're going to handle my relationship.
Yeah.
The hard part too now is that he is not a social media guy. Like, he has one post on Instagram, never posts on Snapchat, like nothing. So I've never found it to be a red flag that like I'm not on his social media. But I kind of gave him that out. I was like, okay, if you don't want to like directly tell her, why don't you just post something? Because then it's like you don't really have to tell her. And he's like, no, like I just like don't feel like doing that. I feel like if I agree to what you're saying right now, like this is going to extend into the future when like I have other like female coworkers or like female friends, and you're going to like ask me to like shut them out, I guess.
What?
You're not asking. Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
So yeah, there's some big problems here with this guy. You're constantly, you're in a situation where he is not working with you at all. He has these. Yeah. You're the one who should have these non-negotiables, and yet it's him who has them saying, "Nope, not going to do that. Nope, that's fucked up. No, I if we're in a healthy relationship, I shouldn't have to do this." And you're just constantly, for the sake of trying to have trust in a relationship and have a healthy communication, you're constantly compromising. You know, things deep down are okay for you to ask, right? This happens a lot in these types of situations. So I think you just need to really draw a line in the sand of what, regardless of you wanting to be in a trusting relationship, and regardless of like, you know, what's happening in your past, there are things that you're just like, I know that's okay. I'm not crazy to want to be in a relationship with a guy where like people know we're dating, let alone his ex. I'm not crazy. Like the social media thing, he's made that an issue, not you. You know?
Yeah, like, and you're not saying, I would even just overly articulate, like, I'm not saying you can't talk to female coworkers in the future. That's absurd. That would be crazy. Like,
and that's why these fights are lasting 2 hours, right? Because he says something crazy, and then you'll say, like you just said, Esther, you're just like, I'm not saying you can't talk to you. And you're like,
that is exactly it.
Right? And then you start talking you're talking 2 hours because you're like, you spend 20 minutes saying something you already know is a fact. It's like, of course you're not the type of jealous person who like wouldn't allow him to have a female coworker.
Yeah.
But yet he makes it seem like you are. I mean, like this very subtle gaslighting that he's doing in a very kind of Machiavellian way.
I brought this up the other night with like the gaslighting, and just kind of like how he has a couple of other like friends that are girls who know about me, and like I've hung out with them a few times and things like that. But now the way he's treating this ex-girlfriend has kind of made me feel iffy about all of his female relationships. Like I kind of just like don't, like I feel like how he's dealing with this is making me view like his girlfriends that way. And I tried to like explain this to him. I said, like, if you keep acting like this, like in the future, it's definitely going to be me not trusting you around. Like you're moving me to that direction.
And I agree with Esther that good chance he's not cheating. He's faithful. What he is selfish, and what he is like he doesn't want to be in a relationship, because in a relationship, to some level, is about sacrifice. It's about like saying, I want a lot of this, and to have a lot of this and have it be great, I have to give up certain other things. He's no. He's just like, I want this most of the time, and then I want to fill in the gaps with all these other things, and I don't want anyone to tell me that I can't have exactly what I want. That's his. Yeah. That's his version of a relationship.
I find that like his biggest argument is that he's just like, when you ask me to do something like that, I feel like I'm doing it because of another reason that's not just me wanting to do it myself. Like he's like, I will do it when I feel like I want to do it. And I'm like, like, I feel like in a relationship, I should be able to like talk to you and just be like, this is making me uncomfortable. It's such an easy fix. Like, just send her a message. But I do agree with you that, and I've brought this up to him, that he knows that she'll get offended and then they won't be able to have a relationship because it'll bring out that she still has feelings for him.
Yeah, exactly.
And like Lester said, he loves that she still likes him.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's getting off on that for sure. Like, and like we all get that. Yeah, there's always appeal when you have someone that you can text that you know they like you, but it's just not right. And also you do have a lot of self-confidence, which is really cool. Like the fact that you are cool that he's texting her, you just want her to know about you. Like you come off very confident and like calm and collected. And yeah, I would wonder what would happen if you said to him, how would you feel if it was reverse? Like,
see, I have done that.
Yeah.
And he just says, oh, like, I honestly wouldn't really mind, because if you did end up like leaving me for like your ex-boyfriend or someone else, like I would know that like I'm the better guy and like I shouldn't have been with you like anyways.
What?
Kind of thing.
I mean,
so
look, this guy sucks, but you can take a page out of his book, and the fact that like he's a dick for saying that, but what he is right about is like what he's saying in a very dickish way is life will work itself out. I know my value.
Yeah.
I'm going to believe in myself, and I am not going to compromise on the things I want. Now, he's selfish, right? You don't seem like a selfish person, as Esther mentioned, but you just need to stand your ground with the things that you know are right. You need to trust your gut, right? And despite your desire to be in a healthy relationship and not let your past baggage dictate your future relationships, you still want to learn from past relationships, right? Like,
yeah,
just, you know, you don't have to become the jaded person, but doesn't mean you're not more aware about some of the shit people pull in relationships and go, you know what? I know that's fucked up because I learned it my last time. And like, I'm not going to argue with you 2 hours over like silly things. This is what I want. You have to be willing to walk away. He does not believe that you're going to ever leave.
In my head, it's just such a shitty thing to have to like walk away for.
Yeah.
It's like, it's almost such a small thing that it's like, why is this a thing?
No, you're wrong there. It's a very big thing. We spent the past 15, 20 minutes talking about all this stuff. Think about how much time and energy fighting for 2 hours. How is that a small thing?
Yeah, that's very
It's taking
true.
up all your time. It's taking up your energy. I mean, this is a relationship where you're supposed to like it's supposed to be a place where you feel safest. It's supposed to be a place where you can like unwind, not get rattled up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but that's going to happen. I just feel like what I really need is I need him to understand where you're coming from. That's like, does he come on, man. Like, how do you not understand? That's what I really need. But,
yeah.
And I, you know, yeah, it's definitely, this is a big issue, but I understand also that you're like, well, it's not a deal breaker. Like maybe we can fix this, and maybe you can. Maybe he just needs to get her out of his system. I don't, you know.
The thing is that like, it's definitely not a trust issue with her. Like I explained this the other day to him, because I'm not trying to read these conversations. I'm not going on his phone. Like I'm not any of that. I'm almost just like losing trust in that if my feelings and somebody else's feelings are at head, then he's not going to pick mine. And that's kind of like where I'm losing trust. Like kind of just if I come to you with an issue, I can't trust that you're going to take it seriously or understand.
Well, and that's why it's, in my opinion, a big issue.
You're
it's
right.
not like, you're right that it's like this shouldn't be a big issue, right?
Yeah.
Because as Esther pointed out, shit happens in relationships. You work through things. Things come up. We get insecure. We talk through it. We work through it. We don't always see eye to eye. Sometimes situations take us a few days to work out, or a week, maybe even couples therapy. I don't know. But there's two people who are like, what they are in agreement is trying to make this work. They recognize that the relationship's having a problem, and they both say, all right, we need to figure this out because my priority is this relationship. It doesn't sound like the priority is this relationship with this guy's priority. It sounds like this guy's priority is him and his needs. And as long as people are able to meet those needs, he's fine with that. I mean, I haven't heard anything from you that suggests that his biggest priority is the health of this relationship, right? I haven't heard anything that he's willing to give up for the sake of this relationship. And as a result, these what should be small problems are turning into these big problems where you're waking up every day being like, what the fuck fuck, why am I crazy? You know,
Yeah,
you're not.
and like before this, I never even thought like, oh, because I knew they talked every once in a while, and I never thought in my head before this situation like, oh, is she messaging him today? But now I wake up every morning and I'm like, I wonder if they're talking today.
Ugh.
Like, it's kind of triggering something in my head now.
Yeah.
That's not fair
Where
to
I'm
you.
like, I'm like going down the crazy hill almost.
And if you put up with this much longer, you're going to end up becoming the person you don't want to be.
Right.
And that is the untrusting, jaded person, because you're going to have been in this environment. You're going to turn these little things will become these big things. And it's become what you're used to. Like it's really important. You trust your gut and the things that you know are normal or what's not normal. So that, you know, when things come up, you have to be in a relationship with someone who's willing to sit down and talk and not constantly stubbornly like try to justify every action they have. I mean,
exactly.
What is this guy conceded for you?
Like in this situation, nothing. And like
in any situation.
Yeah. And I totally agree with you on that I do think that he's thinking more so what he wants to do. And I'm completely the opposite end of the spectrum of like, I just crumble at every situation because I just like want to solve it. And I can compromise super easily, but there's just no compromise on the other side.
You're a great person. Don't change. You're a caregiver. And some guys are going to be really lucky to have a person like you. But the risk that people like you run into is, again, not trusting your gut because you're going to attract a lot of selfish people. You're young, take your time, find the person who like loves that you're this kind of thoughtful, compassionate person who will sit down and work through problems, but they have to be the same type of person. And so take your time looking for it because, you know, selfish people are going to love people like you.
Yeah.
Right. But doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. You just have to be able to hold them accountable. You have to check them and you have to be, it's okay to walk away from guys who like you're seemingly attracted to who are like, not totally assholes to server, but like, you know, like he's probably a fine guy, but like these little things are, and from a relationship standpoint, he sucks. Maybe maybe as a friend, he's cool. Maybe he's a great friend. You know, he's great at being a friend, but maybe as a boyfriend, he's not quite there yet and not willing to sacrifice his needs. And he's 24. So a lot of 24-year-olds are in a very selfish point in their life, and that's okay, but they shouldn't necessarily be in committed relationships.
And I just want to give you the compliment that you are very self-confident and secure. And at your age, that's really like a skill. And I think that's really cool. Like you really, because you're like, I don't need to go through the texts. You're like, I don't care that he texts her. I just wanted them to know that I exist. Like that's really confident. You know, I feel like when I was that age, I would be like, let me see your phone. Like, and when he was in the shower, I'd go through his phone and I'd be like filled with adrenaline and stuff. So I think it's really cool how secure you are. And like, we want to keep that alive in you.
Thank you. Yeah. It's tough to not look through the phone.
I know.
But
and everyone's human. And then one day you're going to do it and you'll hate yourself for it, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think right now you need to protect yourself more than you need to protect the relationship because you can only do 100% of your half. And right now you're trying to do about 85.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think that I'm protecting the relationship and he
is protecting his own self-interest.
Yeah.
He's protecting his friendship while trying to like kind of protect the relationship in his head, also while protecting future female coworkers he hasn't worked with yet. You know, like this guy values freedom.
Yeah, that's right. And attention from women.
Yeah. So I'm sorry.
All right.
It's okay. But you're going to find there's a lot of great guys that are really going to appreciate you. You just might have to take some time, age up a little bit, and you're going to be okay.
Thank you guys so much. And honestly, I just like, I needed like almost a little bit of validation that like I wasn't going completely crazy. So
not at all. Yeah.
Stand your ground.
Awesome.
And the final thoughts, don't get in 2-hour fights.
Yeah.
Just don't indulge crazy. If he says something that sounds crazy, just stop. Be like, I'm not even gonna acknowledge that. If this is or I'm not doing this again, and just don't.
Yeah.
I
agree.
It'll drive him nuts. It'll throw him.
That's such good advice.
Yeah. Just refuse to have insane conversations.
Yeah.
You're a smart person. Trust your gut. You're right on all these things. So just know that. And at the point where it says this, why I can't believe I'm having a conversation about future coworkers.
Yeah. Like then we need to have this conversation in front of a couples therapist because I don't know where we're going with this. That's too crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it.
Get off the phone and break up with them.
Thanks.
All right. Take care. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
How's it going?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good. What's your name?
My name is Vanessa, and I'm 33.
How can we help, Vanessa?
So I am re-entering the dating world after about a 10-year relationship.
Congrats.
Throughout all my 20s.
Yeah.
Thanks. I have been seeing someone for a couple months now, and the relationship started off very incredibly casual. So it was just meant to be a Tinder hookup one night, and then we've just kind of continued seeing each other since. My habits pre my long relationship with my ex-husband was always to jump into monogamous relationships pretty quickly. And so with this relationship, we're starting to kind of like enter a new phase of the relationship where it seems like we're doing more things together. Like we're like cooking dinners for each other, and we text like almost every day. And it's not tons of texting. I have 2 small kids at home, so we just kind of casually text, but definitely check in. And so I'm just kind of wondering like how to proceed next, and if I even should try to move things forward, or if I'm just kind of doing it out of habit. So I was just hoping to kind of talk through with you and figure out
if we like them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like, even like, do I even like him, or am I just following these same steps that I always follow?
What do you like about him?
So he's about 10 years older than me. So he's already been divorced, which I appreciate because he has an appreciation for that, that I've gone through that as well. He's, you know, he has like a good job. He seems very like steady. He's funny. He thinks I'm funny. He's cute. He has goals. He has ambitions. You know, how
does he make you feel?
He makes me feel like really good about myself, which has been really nice.
What don't you like about him?
Well, he's not really my physical type. And so I don't think I was like super, super physically attracted to him at first. It wasn't like, but like, I also know that I tend to be more attracted to people the more I get to know them. Mm-hmm. So I feel a lot more attracted to him now. It's not anything that I don't like, but the only thing that just concerns me is that he doesn't have kids. And so I feel like for me, my big hesitation with moving forward in any relationship at this point is I feel like if I'm asking them to be in a monogamous relationship with me, then that also like brings all my baggage. And I feel like that can be intimidating or scary for someone who doesn't have kids.
Does he know you have kids?
Yeah. He knows we have kids. We've shared our divorce stories and everything like that.
So, you know, he is a 43-year-old man. He can probably speak for himself in terms of what he's okay with or not okay with, right?
Yeah. Has he given you any indication how he feels about the fact that you have kids?
No. One of the last times we were hanging out, I asked him if he wanted kids in his first marriage, and he said like, yeah, that was always the plan, and then their marriage ended, so they never got there. And he said, and at this point I'm kind of too old to have my own kids because I don't want to be like 60-year-old dad at the football game.
He's only 43.
He's only 43. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, I said that too. I said, you're not really that old, but then I didn't want to then say, well, would you be open to being a stepdad? Because I'm not asking, that would be the natural question. But then I feel like that's like a super loaded question because I'm not saying necessarily, do you want to be my kid's stepdad? That's not what I was asking. I was just kind of asking, like, are you open to kids in your life? But I'm not trying to make it.
But regardless, it sounds like he doesn't have a huge desire to be a father himself. So that's a potential good news for you. I don't know where you are at in terms of whether you want to have more kids, but that could be.
No, I'm done.
So you're done, right?
I'm all tied up.
A challenge for someone like yourself in the position and the point of the life that you're in. I'm sorry, I'm not getting that out. Is that you have your kids and you are done having kids. Mm-hmm. So in a dating situation, that is a potential problem for you, that you could meet someone who still wants to have kids. But for this guy, right, he doesn't want to, so that's actually a good thing, right? And it's totally fine. Like, sometimes that happens all the time. I want kids, I don't want kids, and that plays a role in people's compatibility. So it sounds like that's a good thing because your kids do have a father, right? And I guess a stepdad, and hopefully he's just like a nice guy and treats your kids with respect. But you're not looking for someone to necessarily take that role,
right? And that's something I'm pretty clear about when I tell people when it comes up with the idea of kids, and I'm like, but my kids have a dad, so I'm not looking for a dad. I'm just looking for a person for me.
He still doesn't have to go to football games. Can if he wants to. Doesn't have to show up.
Yeah.
You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like I love what I'm hearing. I feel like you have fun with this guy. You guys make each other laugh. You like how he makes you feel. You guys, it sounds like you're just kind of in the early stages. You like each other. And I think your instincts of, well, what do I do now? Like, it makes sense because you don't really know. And I almost agree with you. It's like, I don't know. Like, you just kind of, nothing's bad. So why, it seems like you just kind of keep going. And maybe as time moves on, you know, maybe you're like, are we boyfriend and girlfriend? Like, what is, you know, maybe like that might come up eventually, but.
I'm curious, you had mentioned this habitual instinct to define the relationship and make things official. What, are you referring to like when you were 20?
Yeah, like I'm referring to my, earlier before my marriage, but then even like.
This is the first guy you've dated since your divorce?
No.
No, it's not. Okay,
No,
I'm sorry.
No. But the other two, so there was two other guys that was like, it was kind of about the same time. And one of them was just like, the relationship ended itself. It was pretty bad. But then the second one, it was kind of the same thing where it's kind of like we started hanging out and da-da. And then at some point he just kind of said at dinner one night, like, oh, da-da-da, something about like, girlfriends don't usually like that when I said something I didn't like. And I was just like, oh, I'm sorry. Are we in a relationship? Like, I wasn't aware that we had this conversation. He's like, well, do you want to? And I was like, okay. And so like, he was the one who kind of brought it up. So
You dated someone.
Yes.
And you had this dinner date and he was like, he said something to make you mad, but then referred to you as a girlfriend. And you were like, sure.
We were talking about a situation. He was gonna do me a favor at my friend's wedding. He was gonna play music, and I was like, yeah, but I don't really, like, I think you should just play at the beginning, then they'll have a DJ, so that way you're not playing all night. And he said like something like, yeah, girlfriends don't usually like when you're just like over in the corner play or something like that. Like, and it was just an off.
But then
it wasn't like something in the moment that made me mad.
But then you like that was the consummation of you guys dating. That's how you defined it.
Yeah.
And then how did it end?
He ended up getting wasted at that wedding, and I kicked him out. Okay. And that was the end of that.
Well, why did you say yes to that relationship? Like, why didn't you? I'm just curious. There's no wrong answer.
Because I wanted to. Like, we had been seeing each other for a couple months, and like it was good enough, I guess. But
you
like,
ended
in retrospect, it was, there were more issues.
Okay. Because I was going to say, just because somebody got wasted is kind of a funny reason to break up with them, but it must have been more.
Well, it wasn't the first time.
Gotcha. Okay.
You're just kind of feeling it out, right? I mean, a couple things that, it's good enough, just maybe check yourself. You're not necessarily looking for good enough these days. You're looking for great.
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have you're 33, you're a mom, go out and date, get a little sex, do whatever you want. Like, you can casually date for a while.
Yeah. I guess so then at like what point do I have that conversation, or do I like leave it to him to have the conversation?
What do you want?
Because like, obviously I don't know. I just feel like I come with more baggage.
Stop. Listen,
no,
it's all relative.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine and healthy to recognize things you're insecure about.
Yes.
But he might find that really charming about you. You might be the perfect woman who already has kids, and he'll never have to worry about that because he doesn't. I don't know this guy or this situation. What you need to do is stop like telling him what he is supposed to have a problem with as it refers to you. Let him figure that out. And
if he tomorrow or tonight was like, so what are we boyfriend and girlfriend? Like, and he was like, let's be that. How would you love that? Would you be so psyched, or would you be like, I don't know?
I think that my response and like where my head's at right now is just based on kind of like the missteps that I feel like I made with the other guys that I dated for a little bit. I would be like, I'm open to this conversation. Can we just talk about what this is? Because like the label is not really what I care about. I'm just kind of at a point where I'm like even right now, I'm fine with everything we have, but like, are we monogamous right now? Because I don't get the sense from everything we've talked to about just our lifestyles and things like that. I don't get the sense that I know I'm not, and I don't think he is going out and seeking other people, but like, I care less about the label, and I would just be like, I would want to have more of a conversation of like, if we are going to talk about this relationship, I just want to be clear about like, what does it look like?
You want to define expectations, and I think that's great.
Like, I don't want to necessarily, like, I'm not ready. I wouldn't be ready for a long time to like introduce a guy to my kids, because my kids, I feel like, have already been through like enough. So like that's not on the table anytime soon, regardless. Even if we were to become boyfriend girlfriend tomorrow, I wouldn't bring him around. But it'd be like we would maybe I don't even know how it would change other than like it being clear that we're monogamous, which is something I would want. Like there's not a whole lot else that we're not already kind of doing that boyfriends and girlfriends typically, from my experience, from my past experience, typically do.
So I feel like there is nothing wrong with, and in fact, like you have, and it is in your every right to be like, to just say that to him, be like, hey, like, I doubt we need to have this conversation, but just like, it's COVID and like, I don't know, like, are we monogamous? Like, I definitely am. Are you too? Like, if you're not, I just want to know. Like, maybe just have like that in a charming way, but like, I'm not trying to like label anything, but I just feel like that should be something that should be easy to talk about.
And should I also throw in there, like, because I like you,
yeah,
and I like the thought of you only sleeping with me.
I say yeah. Nick, what do you think?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's you should want to be able to tell people that you like them.
Yeah.
And I know that's scary, because as soon as you do that, you're being vulnerable and opening up the possibility they don't feel the same way. It's scary.
Yeah.
But it also, for the right person, will confirm something that's worth your time. And what you don't probably have as a single mother is a lot of free time and time to waste on people who aren't worth your time. So you just kind of have to get through that hurdle of being a little bit of scary and put it out there that, you know, you like them. Also, you're right. You're absolutely right. There's not much to talk about. It's really, do you want to fuck other people or not? It's really that simple when you're defining a relationship. We make it this whole thing is like, and you're right. You don't have to introduce them to your kids.
Right.
You don't have to make it a big thing. You don't have to like, go to what Thanksgiving you're going to. You don't have to. You don't have to do any of that to not want him to have sex with other people.
Yeah, and you're in such a good no pressure situation, because you're not saying like, are we monogamous? And if so, I want you to meet my kids tomorrow. Like, you're literally putting no pressure on him other than a very normal, like, are we fucking other people? Like, that is so not a big deal, you know? Like, you're in such a good spot, I feel like.
Because you can not have sex with other people now, and 3 weeks later, you can be like, change my mind, gonna have sex with other people, and then it ends. And at least you have a clear understanding, at least. So, it's, I think that's, as we get older, I think that's all we really want to know. Who you fucking?
Yeah.
You know? And just like, honestly,
just me.
Just let me know. Just let me know. It's totally fine. I mean, there's knowing where we stand is all we really want in relationships. We just hate feeling confused and crazy.
Yeah.
The only thing I would slightly disagree with Esther, I mean, try to be charming, but don't try to discount the expectations you're trying to set by being like, it's not a big deal. Like, I don't want to define, like, no, you want to define some expectations, and that's okay to say it. If he has some follow-up questions to like the things that the expectations you're trying to set, then you can reiterate, I'm not looking to introduce you to my kids. I don't need you to go to football games. We don't have to talk about holidays. Just want to know who you're fucking. That's it.
Yeah. And then, and then just follow up with like, what, you know, when you look at what we're doing right now, like, is there anything that you would want to like change or alter, or like, you know, and kind of open up that conversation too, with just checking in on like where he's at with the amount that we text and the amount that we hang out and things like that.
You know, it's one of those, it's a subtle line between like, well, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? But like, just in any relationship, you want to make sure that the person you're with feels comfortable being honest with you, because you never want to get yourself in a relationship where the other person's like, I'm just afraid to tell them the truth because they might freak out. You seem like a chill person. Yeah. So like, just, hey, the more chill you are about it, the more comfortable they will feel comfortable saying, well, since we're talking about expectations, I got one for you, you know, and then you guys will work it out. But the more open you make it seem, you know, don't apologize for wanting to set expectations. And those expectations can change. You're not signing a contract. You're certainly not getting engaged or married. You're not having a kid together. You just want to know who they're fucking. And
that's I think that's like part of going into like looking at how it all started, which like the expectation literally the first night was like, are we good with like no small talk and just like get to it, and like, yep. And then over time that's changed. So starting off, it's, you know, it happens, but like, just so starting off from that, but it's like, then yeah, it's just the relationship has just changed over time. So yeah, just figuring out how to check in without being like making it seem like I'm trying to like make him make a decision or force him into something.
Again, I haven't been married and I don't have kids, but I think as we get older, we feel like there's these, we put these expectations on ourselves of what we feel like society tells us we should be doing. Like, oh, I'm 33 and kids. I shouldn't be like fucking around and I shouldn't be like casually dating or I need to like define things sooner than later. Like whatever makes you happy, do it. Take some time for yourself. If you do like a guy, which you do, you like them, then see where it goes. Start setting some expectations, and then it might change, and then or it'll take the next step. Maybe at some point he's like, "Hey, just so you know, whenever you're ready, I'd love to meet your kids." And then maybe you're just like, "Great, good to know. I'm not ready yet, but like, I like that thank you for being open to it, right? And just keep it very, everything is okay as long as we respect each other. And then you guys will figure it out what sacrifices you're willing to make the relationship work or take the next steps. But I feel, a lot of my friends that are in your position have a habit of putting too much pressure on themselves for the decisions they have to make. Maybe because they have kids or they're worried what their kids are going to think or what does their mom or their, friends think or like, or what society thinks because, you've been divorced.
And that's the thing is I think that's why like I was okay with things starting off so casually, but now it's just kind of gotten to this point where it's like, we're investing a lot of time into each other. So like, again, I feel like, we're both volunteering our time to each other. So it's not like one person is like pushing more than the other, but we're just at this weird point that just trying to figure out what the hell is happening.
I think you just want to know who he's having sex with, and I think that's a totally fair
Are
question.
we monogamous? Just curious. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah.
I need.
As soon as you have sex with someone, you have the right to know where else they're putting their dick or their,
Do you? Is that a rule?
If they want to
come again,
yeah. That doesn't make you crazy.
Okay.
We're so society makes all of us women just think we're so crazy because we just want like the bare minimum. Like you're in a good spot.
You're not being crazy about it. You're just like totally
I just don't want an STD.
I just have a question for you and I just want to know. Do you like wearing a condom? I don't. So like let's just be honest with each other kind of thing. Otherwise, then obviously safe sex. We promote safe sex.
Yeah.
Sure. If you're in a monogamous relationship and there's birth control, you can maybe take some risks,
Right. Right.
I just like am so uncomfortable when you say the word dick in front of a teacher. I'm like, don't say that. She's a teacher.
You're not friends with very many teachers then if you think that we haven't heard it all that we don't.
You haven't been on The Bachelor. There's a lot of teachers
really?
that go on. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to once COVID is lifted, find a group of teachers and go to happy hour with them and you'll find out.
That sounds so fun.
What those conversations all are.
Yeah, I think Esther's totally right. I think society sometimes make women out to sound crazy when they have very normal questions about the dirty dicks they're considering putting inside them.
Sure.
And no one likes a dirty dick.
Everyone has preferences. I'm sure there's some people out there.
Yeah, but like, listen, it's like anything else. If you're gonna read the ingredients and be like, do I want to put this like toxic food in my body because it tastes good?
Yeah.
But be informed.
Perfect. Yeah. Very true. That's why they list the ingredients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you eat something that was like, we're not gonna tell you what's in it?
I don't know. I mean,
like, listen, I don't read.
Can I answer that? I don't know.
I don't read all the labels, but
right.
if you were buying something, they're like, we're not telling you.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, well, how does it look?
How good does it taste?
Or would you eat something that they put on the package like this may or may not have been tasted by someone else already in the last 24 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it might not go away. It just shows up every 6 months.
Sure.
Oh my
Great.
God.
Yeah. Perfect.
Then would you? I don't know. So
I shouldn't.
It's fair to ask. It's fair to ask.
Well, I appreciate your help. I appreciate your time.
All right. Best of luck. It sounds like a fun, potentially blossoming relationship that may or may not work, and that's exciting.
Yeah.
So
you're in a
no
good
pressure.
position.
Yeah.
All right. Well, best of luck.
All right.
How's it going?
Hi, I'm Ellen. I'm 25 and I need help.
All right. How can we help, Ellen?
Okay, so I don't know how to like sum this up the best way possible. Because like basically the biggest thing that's happening right now is I've been dating this guy for 6 years. Okay. We've been living together for 5. We've been in a relationship long term. Like, and I understand that relationships are very much like, if you're in a relationship with someone, the only person you can go to for the answer is them. Right. So basically, I don't necessarily need help figuring out what's going on with him. I need help figuring out what I'm okay with now that this is like coming to fruition. So basically, political stances, like to be completely honest, like 4 years ago, I voted for Trump. I was incredibly conservative. Like me and my boyfriend were on the same page. We totally got along. Like it made sense, whatever, right? Here I am 4 years later as a 25-year-old adult. I'm not under my parents' wing. I have my own opinions. I voted for Biden, and I'm very much into the empathy of the world, So like when we go out to the store now, I'm wearing a mask and my boyfriend is not. So it's like one of those things where like people are like, break up with your racist boyfriend. Like, sure, but like, is he racist? Is he this? Is he that? Like when I bring this stuff up to him, what seems to be the problem is like, I talked to my ex-boyfriend. Let's just leave that where it is. I talked to my boyfriend. I was like, what do you think? Blah, blah, whatever. Because your ex-boyfriend's the best person to get advice for your current boyfriend, because he's totally going to be unbiased. But I was like, what do you think? And then he was like, well, like you have different religions. Like I'm the oldest of 6. I'm a Catholic, like whatever. I believe in the universe and all the things and God and whatever, but he is not, right? He was raised Catholic, but both of his grandparents died of like cancer when he was young. So he's like, if God loves me, he wouldn't take them away. Totally get it. Understandable, whatever. But if we have different religions, fine, right? And then my ex-boyfriend was like, well, if you have different politics, aren't you sort of treating this like different religions? Like, aren't you sort of treating politics like it's religion? And I was like, I mean, like, okay, I'm fine with him having a different religion than me, but he's still a good person. At the end of the day, he's not actively evil. He's not actively rude. He's not actively, going against my faith. So then with politics, though, like, this is a big thing where, like, I think Black Lives Matter. And like, this is something that I'm going to be very vocal about. I'm going to continue to be vocal about. I'm going to continue to be really fucking annoying on Facebook. Super fucking annoying. So like, if your dad and your mom and you and your best friend and fucking everyone disagree with me, I don't feel safe.
Can I interrupt?
Please.
You sound really self-aware and really articulate in a way that's very impressive to me, and it almost makes me want to ask you, like, I feel like whatever the questions you're asking us, I feel like you actually know the answers because you are so self-aware and articulate. And yeah. I want to say, I do want to like say to you, gosh, if I was against Trump and my partner was for Trump, that would be really, a
fucking deal breaker.
Yeah,
right?
like it's just almost like a difference in belief systems that would make our lives really hard. And unless things were so amazing at every other element of the relationship, like why, especially at such a young age, and especially if you've been together 6 years, you guys met so young. Like you met this guy when you were 19. Like, ew.
I know.
Like when we're 19 to 27, we're running around like child idiots. But again, like I'm not taking into account like how much fun you guys have and what connection you have, but it just sounds like whatever. Like, but that's the thing is like, I guess, yeah.
I agree with what Esther is saying. I think the biggest thing here too is like how important it is to you. And you kind of said that, right? You're passionate about this. This is something that you don't want to back down from. I don't like, and I've mentioned this before, I do not like, despite the world we live in, these kind of blanket statements of like, if you voted for someone, then you're canceled. Like that's not okay, right? Now, granted, I understand we live in a divisive time, but despite that, you are passionate about these beliefs. And kind of to Esther's points, you guys have dated for so long, you're kind of evolving as people in this relationship, and it sounds like maybe you guys are just growing apart. Mm-hmm. That's okay. You guys are turning into different people. I just don't. It doesn't sound like, and you even said that you're you know the answer. Like, you know where you're going and you know where he's not. He's not following along.
Yeah.
That's okay. And that's the thing about relationships is they play a role in our lives. They're not all meant to last forever. It's not necessarily anything against him or the relationship or what you had. You know, you don't have to, it doesn't have to say anything bad about you two. You know, it could be still a relationship that you will look back on fondly. You know, you have this ex-boyfriend you talked to from like 6 or 7 years ago. Maybe this guy will turn into that, you know, a few years down the road. But if you have some conviction about something that like every day that, you know, his parents or him are just going to, you know, fuel your fire, you're going to have constant angst and anxiety around it. And I just don't see how you guys can grow a relationship. You're just going to have more friction.
And I would almost argue that you being surrounded by him and his family being so for the things that you know, you guys being so different politically, that probably is making you even more like vocal and energized. It's probably pissing you off, and it's like, that's great, but also to a certain point, like, you need to have a normal life and like not be addicted to posting on Facebook or whatever, and just like you need to have boundaries for yourself of like, okay, how am I going to help my beliefs and my causes in a way that is also, I'm still going to be like healthy and a normal person, and I'm not like obsessed with posting on Facebook, which again, there's like nothing wrong with that. But I think like, I do think they're swinging you too far in a direction, maybe. You
know, because you're in this relationship and the very person that you see yourself to be closest with feels like he's against you, that almost radicalizes you in a way, you know, because you're dealing with it every day. Other people could have an opinion about a topic and be like, that seems fucked up or wrong, or I disagree, and then they go home and like they're just talking about like, you know, what's for dinner, you know, but you go home and, you know, you're just like, why didn't you wear a fucking mask around a crowd, you selfish
didn't you watch the inauguration? You just made me cry. Like, I don't know. Like,
well, a lot of people didn't watch the inauguration, but because it's passionate to you, like that matters. So like, do your thing, but you brought this kind of toxicity into your own house.
Also, you're young, you're pretty, you like to smile and laugh. It's like, girl, guys are gonna come for you. And what if you like do volunteer work for Biden, whatever, and then you meet someone awesome who has the same beliefs as you? I just feel like, why would this girl sitting before me hold herself back for someone who just doesn't?
But this isn't like the only issue. I mean, like this is one part of the issue. Like when you wrote in, there was other issues where like, you know, you wanted to have kids and get married, and there was like some other things that came up, and you started looking at some other people and started noticing that you weren't attracted to him as more. So it seems like there's more of a bigger issue than just this one thing.
Like everything, I guess, okay, so like to sum up, like everything's kind of blowing up like in my face. Like I think I have, okay, how do I start? My ex-boyfriend that I was with for 5 years, like on and off, I cheated on, right? And so Jacob knows about this, my current boyfriend. And so he is just a little bit triggered when anything happens that has to do with other men, right? And so he's not allowed to be triggered because I haven't cheated on him in our relationship. But there have been moments and like things that I've done where like I sent someone a picture on Snapchat, or like I talked to someone on the phone. I broke up with Jacob, moved my shit out, made out with some guy, got back with Jacob, you know, kind of thing. So it's basically like this weird thing that happened where suddenly we got to a point where we finally said, wow, like look at us, like we're finally handling problems really well and whatever. Like I totaled my car, and that's normally a huge point of contention for us. And this time we handled it really well, and we communicated really well, and we talked through it really, really well, because we knew exactly what the other person was going to get triggered by. So what's weird is now that we're sort of getting through these triggers, it seems to be that the last trigger that we have is this problem where, does Jacob trust me enough to be in a relationship with me? Because like my thing is like, I mean, like you said, like I'm pretty, boys will be all over me. Like I've heard that my whole life. I don't need to hear that. Like what I need is a man who will like me even though I'm pretty, even though I smile. Like,
well, let me ask you, does he trust you?
No.
Then you cannot do this without trust.
Yeah,
it's too hard. I see my friends try and do this.
It's fucking dumb.
And you don't even, the thing is, I didn't even learn that until I was in a relationship where we trust each other. And now I'm like,
And
oh,
you're like, whoa, safety?
oh, like everything else was not real. If someone doesn't trust you, that's going to be, you're setting yourself up for misery, because then what, you're like always looking over your shoulder. He's like always questioning you, and you don't really have the freedom to just like live your life. And like, let's say you want to go out with your friends one night. Well, is he going to be like, where is she? What's she really doing? Is he going to show up? Like, you just don't want to. I have a guy friend that has problems like that in his relationship, but if he doesn't trust you, that's hell for you. It's hell for both of you, but it sucks for you too.
Because like, yeah, I mean, like I've been in a relationship where like I'm with the guy and I've cheated and I'm trying to like earn back the trust and get the thing back to where it's supposed to be and like hit the new level and whatever. But like, I think I finally got to a point where he was like, he said all these things. I'm trying not to attack you, but I'm trying to say like, I'm feeling a little neglected. I'm feeling like you're bored. I'm feeling like you're throwing attention at other people and blah, blah, whatever. And I think my brain went, I have done nothing to trigger you this time. I have openly communicated. I have made damn sure that I gave you the power in the relationship. Like I told some other guy something. I told Jacob the same thing. I was like, just do you know this is happening? Like you have full support, communication, whatever. And like literally like what I got out of the text was like basically that he doesn't trust me. So yeah, like I basically like he looked at me and he was like, is it 100% me or not? And then I said, do you fucking 100% trust me or not? Because I'm not committing to someone who I'm going to have to continue to fucking work for. Like, if I'm yours and you want me, like, then want me, right? Like, I just don't want to be in a relationship where, like, if I'm going out in the world and people find me attractive, it's my fucking fault. It's not my fault. I can't do it anymore. Like, I'm done going out into the world and being attracted and being, like, just my confident, wonderful self, and then having people think that it's sexual.
Yeah,
like, it's not.
That's
no
so
more.
So, guy,
okay.
I'm glad you're getting this all out.
Mm-hmm.
What? I mean, what are those things that like? Because here's the thing: like in every relationship, people are going to feel levels of insecurity. I don't care who you are, and even if you have a relationship where there's a lot of trust, once in a while, someone's going to be like, feeling insecure today. I got a question. I hope I'm not overreacting. And those, you need to be able to have those conversations without feeling triggered.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just past that. I don't know. But I'm curious, what has he said in the past that has brought you to this point where you feel so triggered by his lack of trust?
It has to do with my relationships with like other men. Like the thing is like the most recent one that happened, there's this guy Oliver that I'm friends with. We were in a musical theater show together, and
what show?
Literally, Jekyll and Hyde.
Nice.
It's so good. So we were in a musical together, and before the pandemic, because now that's not a thing. And I was hanging out with him a lot. But he's 21, I'm 25. So therefore, to me, he's a child, just like I'm a child to you. So, so I literally like.
Can I ask you a question? When was the last time you were When was the last time you were single?
You're not gonna like this answer, but it was like I was 14. Like I just went from boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend. This is the first time I'm feeling like a normal human myself, and I'm like, yo.
So I think that's what's really going on. I think you're finally getting to the point in your life, regardless of your age, where you're being more comfortable yourself. You're looking in the mirror, you're recognizing what you're seeing, and you kind of like it, and that's great. But right now, but you also feel a bit trapped, right? You're in a relationship where you don't feel like you necessarily can be yourself, and that happens. And that's maybe nothing against him. You've never even been single, so. If you're going to find yourself for the first time, you need to see what's out there without feeling like you're doing something wrong. There could be some like guilt you're projecting because maybe this like lack of independence that you've had, you want to talk to other guys or you want to have guy friends because there's nothing wrong with having guy friends, but there is a limit to like if you're in a committed relationship, like wow, you kind of hang out with a lot of dudes, like I'm super I trust you, but fuck man, like, and if you are like you could be a trusting boyfriend and like and you could be the boyfriend. It's just like I mean I think my girlfriend's super hot, so like I just as a boyfriend you're just gonna be like, well, everyone wants to have sex with my girlfriend, right? So like there's a level of like and I've always said like you don't have to trust the people that are around, you have to trust your partner, but you're just like, hey, everyone wants to fuck you, right? Like, okay, like let's not pretend. So I just think maybe right now you need to embrace your independence, embrace this kind of new found self. And I think maybe it would behoove you to be single for a while because I think you're kind of I don't know, like, you know, we're hearing your version of your boyfriend and maybe he sucks. I don't know. But also maybe he's a nice guy with some flaws. And maybe he's just like another human that's just imperfect. But right now, I think you're a little triggered and you're projecting your frustrations because I think you're finding yourself while also feeling trapped in a committed relationship.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
By the way,
So I guess like
what if you guys are like, you take a break, like, and
no.
But
See,
it's
that's
like
my fear. It's not gonna fucking work. Like
you break up and well, how about this? You break up and then if this was meant to be, it'll come back, kind of vibe.
I mean, like, I love that advice, but I hate that advice also because, like, if it wasn't going to work in the first place, like, it's not going to work again. Like, why go back?
I think Esther's maybe trying to give you, like, a little bit, like, hey, you know, I think we're all in agreement. We know what needs to happen, but if you need the courage to break up, maybe you can. I think you know deep down what you need to do.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And listen, like, you've never been single.
Yeah, that's. You don't want that.
So that's not great, you know.
No.
How do you know what you want as an individual? Like, be single for a while. See how you even progress even more as an individual, and then embrace the things that, like, you know, you're kind of free to go down the paths you want to go down. And then once you kind of go down those paths, you'll end up in a place where you're like, oh, these are the people that I feel like are going to help me be, you know, the person I really want to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Yeah.
Godspeed.
We believe in you. I believe in you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, take care.
Bye.
Good luck. You're going to be great.
Yeah. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All right, take care. Well, what a fun episode.
So much fun.
Esther, thank you so much for coming.
I thank you for having me. I love being here. This is a fun way to, you know, help others.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And we learn a little bit about ourselves. It's therapeutic. I have no doubt that the people will want you back. So if you're open to it, we'd love to have you back down the road.
And I love your team. It's a happy energy here.
Yeah.
I love it.
Remind the people where they can consume all the delightful things you're putting out in the world.
Yes, I have a solo podcast called Esther Club, and I'm working on a new podcast with a couple female comedians.
When you say solo, you mean you don't have guests, and that's why you haven't asked me to come on?
That's correct. Okay. Yes, but after COVID, I'm gonna start having guests again, maybe, and you will definitely be.
All right. I mean, it's fine. I'm just asking.
And this year, because stand-up comedy requires so many droplets to be exchanged, so I started a clothing line called Sleepover by Esther. You can go to sleepoverbyesther.com to learn more
about your tie-dye.
Yeah,
that's great.
Thank you. This is it. It's very cute. We're launching sweatsuits soon, but I feel like that's it. I'm just chilling. I'm on a show on Hulu called Dollface. We're waiting to shoot season 2. Otherwise, I'm just at home waiting for Nick to call and invite me to the bonfire.
Yeah. Now that I know you're open to it. Yeah. Can't wait. Thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to send in your questions at asknick@castmedia.com. Cast with a K. Subscribe, 5 stars, all that fun stuff. We will see you tomorrow for more Bachelor recap, and on Wednesday for what is sure to be a riveting conversation.
Thanks, Nick.